Morning, guys. Oh, hi, Mr. T. Oh, look at that manure pile. That'll be turned into compost. See? I'll show you back here. This is fresh. This is old. Mixed in with wood chips and everything else. Look at that. It's dirt. That's dirt. I'll touch it with my own bare hands. Dirt. Okay? So manure, which is, well, animal poop mixed with hay and some wood chips, turns into dirt. Anyways, I digress. Hi, buddy. Time to feed my cow. This is Mr. T. We got him at an auction. And I think I introduced you guys to him before. I was under the impression he was a longhorn or a longhorn cross. Hold this so that she doesn't come in. But we now think he's Jersey. Anyways, he's not a bull anymore. He's a steer. He's quite excited about his food. Yeah, aren't you? Yeah. All right. But he's come a long way, haven't you? Yes, you're a good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy. You don't get scratches? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he's a pretty boy. He's starting to get his winter coat already. Look how tubby he is. Hi, guys. So, today I'm making a little bit of a different video. And I don't make a habit on this channel of discussing politics too much. I mean, I touch on certain things and thoughts when I feel that it is relevant. And in this certain instance, this is extremely relevant. This is happening in Kiskiminetas Township, which is literally just, I could see it from my property. Okay, so this is in my backyard practically. It's just a neighboring community. It's not a very small community. It's not like a housing plan or anything else. And this is in Western Pennsylvania for those of you that are not from around here. This is a, what are they using? An ordinance that they're trying to pass. Hi, Carmel. Okay. So this is an ordinance that the township is regulating the maintenance, keeping, possession of animals within the township of Kiskiminetas, Armstrong County, Pennsylvania, to promote health, safety, and general welfare of its inhabitants. They are imposing greater restrictions than those of any other statute, ordinance, regulation, or resolution. Okay, that right there should set off red flags everywhere. Anytime a township or a local little government wants to inflict greater restrictions. This is not a dictatorship, okay? So start, and right off the bat, no, okay? I'm getting somewhere with this, so just bear with me, okay? So we're coming down in the Article 1 in the definitions. They talk about continuous or excessive noise, which they're describing as uninterrupted, unbroken, and persistent, or so persistently repeated at short intervals as to continually, virtually an unbroken series. Excessive, as used in this article, shall mean substantially greater than what is commonly considered or usual or common barking by a dog or noises of a species. So excessive is substantially greater. Can I ask a question? In whose opinion is this noise going to be excessively greater? Okay, if you're going to inflict rules because a noise is excessively greater, are you talking about an animal that is hungry and needs fed and is going on and on and on? Or are you talking about some Karen that lives next door and doesn't like to hear the chickens bark, 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 because that's what sound chickens make? That is something that you cannot measure. So basically, you're enforcing an opinion as law. That doesn't work. You cannot measure, you cannot give a grade of what is normal and what is excessive. okay? All of this, I am going to get to a point here. But this one really ticked me off because how do you, that's an opinion. You can't enforce an opinion. Can't. Okay, this one. This one gets me, and I will go off about this. No farm animals shall be kept on less than 2 acres of land, except the keeping of chickens shall be allowed, oh thank you, upon approval of the township, subject to standards set forth in this ordinance. On 2 acres of land. Okay. So people are trying to leave the cities. They're flocking out of the cities. This is fact. And this is happening all over the country. People are leaving the cities because of strict mandates and restrictions, okay? They want to break free. They want to be able to live a little bit more natural. And that means keeping chickens. On 2 acres of land, do you know how much you can raise on 2 acres of land? You can keep pigs. You can keep dairy goats. You can keep chickens. You can keep rabbits and quail. And gosh, if you can afford to feed them properly with the hay and the substitute of other forages and minerals that you're going to need, you can keep a dairy cow on 2 acres. You can keep a horse in 2 acres. And they're telling you you can't keep anything but chickens on 2 acres. And that's if they approve the application. That's bullshit. Okay? No. You cannot tell people that they cannot raise their own food. In a world right now where food is number one expensive, more expensive than ever, and number two, filled with so many chemicals and other things that are terrible for you that you can't even pronounce, that is meant to keep a loaf of bread on the shelf for 5 months. In a world where meat is being grown in a factory, they're going to tell you that you can't raise your own food, but you can eat that stuff. No. No. Come and take it. You can give me a fine all day long. I'm not paying it, and I'm not getting rid of my animals. So no. Now, and I do want to preface this as where we live currently, we have 10.5 acres. Okay, so this would not apply to me. I don't care. I'm going to bat for people that this does apply to. Okay? There's a bunch of other stuff in here. I'm just reading you highlighted things. They're talking about how animals are being kept. They have to have proper fencing, which I agree. You should, if you're responsible, what do they say? Good fences make good neighbors. If you are a responsible animal owner, you're going to put up a good fence. I will tell you though, things happen. Things happen. Earlier this year, the neighbor's bull came over. It's happened one time. And it happens. When you have farm animals, it is understood that they get out. Because they're big animals, and if they want what's on the other side, and you have a weakness, maybe caused by a deer, maybe caused by who knows, they're going to get out. It just happens. People with common sense that live in the country, we understand this. People that don't have common sense, that have moved here from who knows where, have become so pampered and sheltered that they don't understand this. But I'm here to tell you that this happens. But what they're saying here is, their sentences are run-on sentences to begin with. But they're going on through it. It says, including but not limited to damage of property of others, posing an attractive nuisance. An attractive nuisance. What is that even? It doesn't look pretty to look at? Whose business is it? An accumulation of feces. Showed you at the beginning of this video a nice pile of feces, and it's turning into dirt. Dirt that's going to go on my garden. The threat of disease or discernible increase in the presence of vermin, odors, or noises. So you're going to have animals and you can't have odors and noises. Do these people live on planet Earth? Do they understand what animals are? Farm animals? Farm animals will literally... I had my farm shop open. My turkeys were having intercourse in front of customers. It's just what they do. They don't have a concept of decency. Okay? Their IQs aren't as high as ours, okay? I need a sip of coffee, guys. Now this one, I think we're getting to the root of this here. This is to satiate all the Karens out there that like to complain about things 24/7, but also any person wishing to engage in the keeping of chickens on less than 2 acres of land shall apply to the township on a form provided along with the application fee of $50. So it's all about money. We want more money. Some other things that really irritate me, they're just saying how many chickens that you can keep. I really would like to know where in the rule book it says, you know, what the acceptable amount of acreage or footage is for chickens. They're saying no chickens may be kept on any parcel smaller than 22,000 square feet. A maximum of 6 chickens may be kept on any parcel of 22,000 square feet and less than 2 acres. 6 chickens on 2 acres. That's all you're allowed to have. And when the hawk comes and takes one, now you're down to 5. And, oh, there might be a fox. They'll probably take 1 or 2. They like to come back. Raccoons could just take out all 6 at one time. But, you know, who's counting? You know, earlier this year, I don't know if these people realize it, but eggs were really expensive. And you had a limit as to how many you could get. Gee, if you had your own chickens, you could help your neighbors out and you could give them some eggs too. That's a novel idea. I digress. And a maximum of 12 chickens on 2 acres or more. So if you have 20 acres, you're only allowed to have 12 chickens. You don't get to tell us how many chickens we get to have, okay? And clearly you've never had chickens because you would understand that chicken math is a thing. There it goes on talking about more about restrictions on how many chickens you can have. The chickens must be provided with a coop that's properly designated to be easily cleaned, accessed, maintained. The chicken coop must be at least 3 square foot per chicken. I'm really surprised they don't make you apply for a building permit for this because, you know, don't get any ideas, but they could get extra money for that. Stop this. My iPad's acting up, I'm sorry. All animal feed should be stored in a secured rodent-proof container and housed within an enclosed structure. Look, I get it. You're trying to reduce rodents. Nobody likes rodents. I get it, but it's still going to happen on a farm. I'm so sorry to tell you. These things do happen. During daylight hours, chickens must have access to the chicken coop as well as an outdoor area that's adequately fenced to protect the chickens from predators, to prevent the chickens from roaming onto neighborhood properties. The chickens must be closed in a chicken coop from dusk to dawn. I mean, I understand that's proper chicken keeping husbandry. However, that being said, instead of enforcing laws and rules and being an absolute dictator, why don't we have a class where we could properly educate people on how to properly take care of these birds so that you don't have future problems? Instead of restricting, let's encourage people to take care of animals, to provide their community with food. Not say you can't do this, but say, hey, if you're going to do it, let's do it right. And let's promote this as something really awesome. Take away that $50 application for keeping chickens and charge a $50 class on how to raise chickens for eggs for the community. That's where our mentality should be. That's what's wrong with this country. Everything's about restricting and taking away rights rather than teaching people proper methods. Okay. There's some other things that I wanted to go over here about the dogs. They're talking about dogs. I might not have, for some reason, copied this one piece. Basically, they were saying that dogs need to be on this list of things, on this list of breeds. They actually have a list of breeds that they're going to have to be muzzled when they're outside. If they're in this category of dogs, which I'll go over, they have to be muzzled. I have a dog that's of this breed, and if you put a muzzle on him, he would be so depressed and sad and absolutely horrified of the world. He probably wouldn't come out of the house for 2 weeks. He's a sensitive animal and poses no threat to anybody. Even somebody that might try to break into this house, he'd be like, hey man, how are you? Can I have a cookie? Maybe some pets? Thank you. It's the owner you should be worried about, not the dogs here. Anyways, so these dogs have been designated by insurance industry. You should just stop right there. Okay, these are designated by the insurance industry as a restricted dog breed, subject to higher rates for homeowners due to their propensity to be aggressive or protective, and therefore adopted as dangerous by the township of Kiskiminis. They're going to charge higher property taxes for these breeds of dogs, okay? Akita, Alaskan Malamute. Fun fact, we raised them. We bred, showed, raised them. They're not aggressive. Unless you're a small animal that wanders into their yard, that's their territory. Fair game. American Pit Bull Terrier. We can go down this rabbit hole. I'm not going to, because I am of the stance that it's not the breed, it's the owner. We can go over that another time, because that's not what this is about. Boxer, St. Bernards, German Shepherds, Prussia Canario, Siberian Husky, Wolf Hybrids, Caucasian Shepherds, Chow Chows. We had one of those. They are known to be a one-person dog. That checks out. However, if you're getting a dog for protection, if you're a single woman and you have a need for protection, because let's face it, in this world right now, single women do need some sort of protection. Having a chow is a great thing. They will protect you until death. They're not going to just run down the road and attack somebody. You shouldn't let your dog off the leash. We have leash laws in Pennsylvania, which I'm going to circle back to. But you absolutely should have a dog that's going to protect you, and a chow's going to do that. So will most of these breeds on this list. Doberman Pinscher, Mastiffs. We have a Mastiff cross. Amstaffs, American Staffordshire Terriers, which are just basically AKC's designated breed of a pit bull. Pit bull, which is kind of redundant because it's on there already. I guess they just want to make sure that you understand that. Rottweiler, Staffordshire Bull Terrier, which is, again, the same realm in the pit bull family. And Great Danes. So first of all, of those breeds of dogs, it also makes sure to add mixed breeds of the restricted breeds. So our boy in here is, he's a Mastiff, Rottie Cross, and he would apply for this. So basically, what they're getting at is these are the most popular, I would say, some of the most popular breeds of large dogs. And if you're rescuing a dog, it's probably going to have this in there. I wouldn't even know how to throw out a number now because so many people own dogs, but I'm going to say at least 50% of the population that have dogs are going to have something with these lines or a version of it, like a mixed breed. I mean, that's just a number, but even still, even if 50% is accurate, you're going to impose higher property taxes on 50% of the population, even 25% of the population. Number one, that's discrimination, because you may have these breeds of dogs and be extremely, cautious about how you handle them. But, that's getting greedy. We broke free from England because we didn't like the overtaxation. I think, you're getting taxed extra because of the breed of dog you have. Another more concerning thing, in my opinion, is that these breed of dogs are known to be protectors. They're guardians. They're watchdogs. They're guard dogs. They're meant to protect your family. So basically, they're trying to dissuade you from owning a breed of dog that is going to protect your family. I find that to be concerning. And I would like to know why the township finds that to be a necessity. But I have something really for you to think about, because while you're trying to enforce all of these these asinine rules, Pennsylvania already has a leash law. If you cannot enforce Pennsylvania's leash law now, what makes you think you're going to be able to enforce all of this? It's not about the laws. It's about the money. They want the money. The money from the fines, the money from the insurance, the money from whatever else they're going to get. And that's just what it's all about. These people They just want to inflict more to line the pockets. Maybe they feel like their township isn't making enough money. This is a great way to gain revenue. Our mindset's wrong. It's wrong. You want to hinder people rather than encourage them. The dog thing pisses me off, especially, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but it makes me mad because there's already a leash law, so that's pretty redundant. If you can enforce the leash law, then you're fine, but you can't do that already, so why are you going to further inundate with laws and rules? It's about the money. The thing that really, really, really makes me crazy is the fact that you're trying to tell people what they can and cannot do on 2 acres of land even. On more than 2 acres, you can only have 12 chickens. And no. We live in the United States of America. You don't get to give us these laws and rules. This is not, you're a tyrannical government, even on a local level. Even on a local level. This is absolutely absurd. You're talking about an area that is mostly designated as agricultural anyway. I will be point blank and completely honest. I don't have a horse in this race in this area. I may still end up showing up just to give my 2 cents. I will fight this tooth and nail every time I see it come around. This is bull. No, not in the United States of America. I'm sorry. This doesn't fly here. And if you think it does, you got another thing coming. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys find the courage to fight these things in your areas, and you have to. You must fight these things in your areas, because if you let them take an inch, they will take a mile. It's before long, you're going to be living in a 15-minute city, and you're going to say, how did this happen? Here's the aforementioned rooster that we're not allowed to have. Nobody tells me what I can't have. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.